All right, welcome back to another episode of the Distil-Nation NZ Podcast. My name's Tom, and I'm joined by my co-host, Cameron.
As always, great to be here.
And as you may be able to see, or you may be able to hear in a second, we're joined by Vaughan from Good Bones Distilling up in the North Island. How's it going, Vaughan?
That's hot. It's real hot.
I think, yeah, we're all feeling the same thing down here. It's hot. We're all, if you could see us on YouTube and whatnot, we're just hot and sticky. And I think, Vaughan, you're feeling the same thing, eh? Yeah. So, yeah. Have you got the still running today, or is it a bit of a quiet day?
No, it's just a quiet day. We had an event yesterday, so today's our chill day, and it's a public holiday anyway. So.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, up north. Yeah.
Wellington Anniversary Day, right?
Yeah. So it's my day to do shit down here that I don't do when the still's running, I guess.
Good on you.
Yeah.
Hey, look, thank you so much for sending down these bottles. We're so excited to try them because we were talking when we were talking a few weeks ago and sort of just who we wanted to talk to this year, and your name came up right away. We were just, I mean, I know you've sort of listened to the podcast a bit, and that's still surreal
to know that there are people like working in the industry that actually listen. So thank you.
Yeah. And I mean, I've known a little bit about you. I know that you use some of the discarded bakery products and whatnot, you know. So really keen to chat about that, of course. But I thought first, why don't you just intro the distillery, and tell us a bit about it, and how it started and where you're going.
Oh yeah, sure. So I'm Vaughan. How do I start? Sorry.
No, when did you start up? How long have you guys been going for?
So we're real new. So I think our first bottle came out in November 2022.
Okay.
So we've been around about a year, but I've been home distilling since I was like 18. So quite a while. Entered quite a few awards and things like that. Won one of them outright in 2016 with my dark rum, of all things.
Cool.
Just homebrewing awards. And then pretty much how the whole Good Bones started around was around about COVID. So when COVID hit, all the ethanol for fuel got turned into hand sanitizer. So where I work, for my day job, we use ethanol in race cars and things like that. So my boss was like, shit, we need some ethanol. He knew that I did homebrew. He's like, could you make some? And I was like, oh, yeah, I could. But I looked into it and it just wasn't really viable. Then when I just saw a news article came up about just how much food goes to waste, and it was just like, bing, a light bulb went off. I was like, I'll use that, but I'm not going to use it for making like fuel or anything. I would use it to make ethanol. So then that sat with me a while. I was like, I just started mucking around, making sure that I could actually do it, mashing away in my homebrew setup. And then if you can see down here, the Innovate competition came up.
Oh, yeah.
So Innovate Wanganui. I just saw it on Facebook one night when I was scrolling. I woke my wife up and I was like, I'm going to enter this. She was like, I don't care. Do not.
We've all been there. Oh, yeah.
And then I won it. And then that sort of just kick-started Good Bones into where we are now.
Awesome. So is this the still behind you, the whole setup right there?
Yep.
Yeah,
so if you can see, this way, there's a boiler that we found in an old candy factory in Paetua. It's about 6 mil thick stainless, first built in 1958 in London. And so we just jumped at the chance of that, retrofitted it with a few elements, made it fit. We got the still made in China for us. And then I just did all the plumbing work to fit it all up. Awesome. We're a fabricator at work, so we can make stuff. But then by the time I looked into just buying the stuff to make, it wasn't worth it price-wise for what they did. Yep. They did a really good job. So it's all modular. So you can see all the valves. We can just change it to run through one column, 2 columns, or none of them, depending on what we're doing. So yeah, I'll get out of the
Oh,
way.
that's awesome. Yeah, no, it's beautiful. Yeah, it looks really good up on the wall there. I talked to Penny from the Dunedin Craft Distillers on was it Friday? Was it?
Don't
Yeah,
ask
it was
me.
Friday. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So and she's doing something similar with
yeah,
to you. And one of the things I asked her, I said, it's got to be insanely hard to deal with discarded bread products and whatnot. Like, just it's got to be like a slurry, and like to filter that out and stuff like that. Like, how's that been a challenge for you?
yeah. So we're really doing it the hard way, that's for sure. But so I'm in with a brewery. So Good Bones is in with Lads Brewery. So if you have a look.
Oh, right on. Yeah, no, that's
So
cool.
we use their equipment, and so we just make a mash just like they would with the beer. But then I just add my baked goods on top of that. So the efficiency, it's been a hard yard, making their system work for me.
Hmm.
But so we're chucking between 10 and 18 kilos of baked goods, depending on what it is, into each batch. So we're still real small batch. Like you see
Yeah.
with the vodkas there, they're about 50 bottles. And then sort of 10 kilos of bread or something doesn't sound like a lot, but it adds up real fast. But we've had dealings with stuck sparges, stuck mash, everything like that. So just trying to work out how we mitigate that has been a nightmare at first. But I think
Yeah.
we're getting there. 8 batches
That's
in,
awesome.
we sort of know what we're doing.
I think I think this is almost worth taking a bit of a step back. So you see the article about all of the food waste, and then think, oh yeah, I'm going to distill it, and that's I'm following. That still requires you to go out to bakeries and to go to all of these other places and say, how much bread have you got that you don't sell? I'm gonna make some spirits out of it because I'm sure uh, they looked at you funny.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit. But they're actually, a lot of them are really, or actually everyone is really keen about it. They're super happy that it's just not either going to the pigs or going to waste or anything like that. So they do sort of seem funny, but every time they get one in and I'm doing a mash, I get them to come in. I show them how it all works. Then again, when we're distilling it, we'll get them in to show sort of how it goes from what they saw into a spirit. Sort of just to show them sort of effectively how it all works. If that makes sense.
Yeah, getting a really cool buy-in, and you also you jumped the gun on one of the questions that I already had, which was for fans of dark spirits. It is fairly common if you're talking about a batched whiskey or a batched bourbon. I don't know of many, if anybody else is talking about batched vodka. But the best part was when I was on your website, you had all of the batches there, and you were like, okay, so this grain came from this brewery, and we're using this product, and so you had it all there for people who were really keen. And I've got to ask, is there much of a difference whether or not you're using a bread versus one batch I saw, which was a cake? Like, are you noticing, is the goal just to, I'm going to produce some spirits and whatever the batch is going to be great? Are you going for some kind of consistency? What's the ultimate goal here?
So if you A/B test them, so if you A/B tested 6 or 7, there would be a little bit of a variance that I can tell. But
Mhm.
generally, if you just picked up a vodka and then tried another one, you wouldn't probably necessarily notice that there was a big difference. I'm trying to strip as much flavor per se out of it, just so it's more approachable as a spirit, just for people coming into the distillery to try it. Um, where I want to go is start doing some whiskey and things with it, where I will leave a lot more of that flavor in. Do the same thing with the batches. This whiskey was made with, I don't know if I can call it whiskey, maybe I'll call it not whiskey. Um, yeah, this was made with cake, or it was made with bread, or something like that. That sort of
Cake ski, bread ski.
Mm.
Yeah, I love it.
still comes from grain, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, on a technicality.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I can. Yeah, I mean, really, it's a tough one,
um,
eh? Be interesting to
we'll,
have that chat. Yeah.
Hmm.
we'll just see what happens. I've actually got a whole lot of beer. So there was a importer of some beer that approached me and said, "Hey, look, we're about to tip out 12 pallets of beer. Can you do anything with it?" And so I was like, "Yeah, heck yeah, we can."
Yeah, we can.
So
Yeah.
I'm slowly emptying 250 ml bottles, a pallet at a time. Um, and so then we're just going to distill it, keep a whole lot of the flavor as we can, and then age it, see what we can do with it. And then at the end of the day, if it's still terrible, then we'll just run it through the still again. We'll turn it into vodka or liqueurs and go from, go from there.
Right on. Yeah, I've had some experience with that. It's an interesting one. Those beers, they do turn into something quite interesting, but totally unique. Totally unique. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, like you'll see there, like our blue, the blue raspberry, that was actually made from a beer as well. Actually,
Oh,
so
okay.
was the coffee liqueur. So
Oh, cool.
again, had a brewery approach us and said, "Hey, look, we're about to dump this beer. Can you do with it anything with it?" And I was like, "Heck yeah, we can do something with it." No one wants to tip beer down the drain, so we put a stop to that.
That's great.
I love that ethos, and I love because your work doesn't work. Excuse me. Your work doesn't work in a silo. You've got to have other partners who are willing to come to you with their ingredients and to help stop that food waste. And from what I'm hearing, sounds like you've got a really cool buy-in from other food producers and businesses in the community to say, hey, look, if it's the difference between dumping and maybe giving something a second crack at life, let's go with Good Bones.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they're all fantastic. They're really good people. I think they're really interested in as well, just seeing what it can do. And the community here has really come along with us. So it's great to see.
Awesome. So what should we try and drink first here? What's the best order?
I'd say we'll start with the just the plain vodka. So
Eating.
go with that. So you'll see the wax seal.
Mm-hmm.
I love that you've been able to do that properly and everything with the beautiful pull tab and everything like that.
So if you could just show me, Tom, what does
Yeah.
it say? What does it say on the side there? That's batch 7, bottle 9 of 47. So that is it's a very small run. But can you tell us, Vaughan, batch 7? What is it that we're drinking here?
So that is sour bros bread. So they're a sourdough bread producer. Um,
Oh,
so that
Wow, I got to say, on first sniff, this is unique already. It's
what's the ABV? Does it say?
40, was it?
it's
Yeah, 40.
40.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good, unique,
But
I hope.
it is, yeah, yeah, no, it is.
I mean,
Well,
while
because
you're doing it, I'll do it as well, eh?
yeah, that'd
Good.
be great.
Good man.
Yeah,
Good man.
a lot of vodkas, you pick up and it's ethanol, but with this, no, it's not. It's not just ethanol,
There's a very sweet nose.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah. Sweet. It's almost like if you were to amplify it, almost a little bit of rumminess to it.
Like a white rum.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
see
yeah,
where you're coming from
yeah.
with that.
But
Yeah.
like, definitely a vodka. It's great.
So we don't carbon filter or anything like that. So pretty much what you're tasting has come out of the still. It does go through a tiny particle filter just to make sure there's nothing
Yeah, of
in the
course.
bottle itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've actually quite surprising. I've turned quite a few people back onto vodka. When they come in, they're like, "Oh, this was the drink that I was dying in a field with." So it's pretty cool to actually get them to try something a little bit different, get them back into some spirits.
And you're right. It's funny that vodka is at its core meant to be, and I'm using air quotes here, a neutral spirit. But I'm sure the thing is, I mean, even as you are saying that you could tell if you were to line up a line of your own vodkas, you could pick slight differences. But I'm confident that if we put this in a lineup of 5 well-known vodkas, I'm sure that we would taste differences between them all. Confident of that.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's got a lot to do with the stills as well.
Yeah.
How it's made, what it's made with. There's so much more that goes into it than just being a neutral spirit as well. We're pretty careful.
I don't know if you've planted this, but I'm kind of like, is that sweet coconut? Am I picking coconut water? I mean, do you have your own official notes, Vaughan?
I do, but again, it slightly changes. So I don't like to always just be like,
Sure.
because there is a small change. But if I had just a blanket note, and then say with this one, which is batch 8 that I'm drinking, we actually used a different yeast, a wild yeast from New Zealand. It would change again if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So. I think that's maybe what I should do on my batches page. So, like you said, if you go onto my batches page, you can see literally all the ingredients that went into it, and then I could possibly have the tasting notes down there as well.
Now, the big standout for me, and I'm incredibly surprised about this because you don't often find this with a spirit that's at 40%, but that is silky. It is velvety. It's got a really kind of thick coating texture that just wants to sit on the tongue. Like, you normally have to go cask strength to get this kind of texture quality, and what you've achieved here is, it just makes me want to sip it. It really,
easy to drink that one.
Flavor aside, and I'm sure we'll get to the flavor there, but it's not a watery tasting or watery kind of feeling spirit. This vodka has some body, and it's like, you can sip me neat, and this is delicious.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised I'm saying this about a vodka.
Oh, cheers, dude. Thank you very much.
It's have you? So you do these. You add a lot of these breads and cakes and whatnot into these ones, but do you see a future where you might try and do that entirely for a batch instead of as an additive as well?
100%. Yeah. So it all comes down to my equipment. Because I've got live elements in the still, in the boiler, that's where I've sort of started using. Well, that's where I use the brewer's equipment to be able to mash it, to be able to remove all the solids out of the product or out of the mash, so that I can just have clear, like liquid that goes into the boiler. But I do, really want to be able to just make it 100% out of something at some point. But it just means a bit of an upgrade in equipment, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Penny was telling me down at Dunedin Craft Distillers that they actually have to use a quite a big press machine, like a big. Yeah, so I can't exactly describe it, but she has to put it through this machine, and it squeezes all the solids out of from the liquid. And she said it's quite a process, and it sort of limits how much they can sort of run at one time. But it's quite a process. That
definitely, they're real good guys down there too. So we've had a few chats before, which is pretty cool. The industry actually as a whole is so neat. There's so many people willing to help you, and I haven't seen that in an industry like this before, which is really neat.
It is good. Yeah, it's great. There's a lot of good people around, and a lot of people making really cool stuff, especially like this. This is, and is this the first vodka we've done?
Yes.
It is cool.
It is.
There you go. You get the distinction.
Absolutely.
So you're saying, in your day job as as I was reading on your website, the mechanic and quite a high performance kind of area, you don't see that kind of collaboration, cooperation between either different motorsports teams or different workshops?
In the motorsport industry, absolutely. Like when I went away with race teams, I'd help other teams, whether it was changing gearboxes, everything like that. But just in other ones, probably just the different workshops, we don't quite communicate as well as maybe we should. I don't think there's any ill intent behind it or anything like that. It's just there's probably not the same communication. Just being able to talk to Tom or a couple of other guys. Yeah, yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, this isn't. I'm picking up a wee bit of citrus. I'm tempted to say orange. Definitely a wee bit of vanilla, but it is. I guess I would couch that by saying it is a vodka. It's not.
Yeah, you're digging for those for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But it's certainly that there are. This isn't, in my opinion, this isn't a vodka that you would bury with lots of juices, sweeteners, additives in order to make a cocktail. Like I think any kind of vodka forward cocktail, like your martini or something, where as
yeah,
fewer ingredients as possible,
yeah.
really allow this to shine. You're away laughing. That's quite something.
Do you have like a recommendation usually for people to
Yeah,
drink it with?
yeah. How would you recommend somebody drink this?
Oh, like pretty much just however your favorite drink is the way you enjoy to drink it. I always try people with lemon lime bitters. I think it's a super easy way to get it in there. But a Moscow Mule as well.
Oh,
I heard 2024 is the year of the gimlet, so let's smash some gimlets with it as well.
Love it. What about the name? Good Bones. Where's it from?
Oh, so I have a leukemia. So it's a blood cancer which starts in the bones. So effectively, I have bad bones. So these are my good bones. Yeah, well,
God.
so we are also looking at doing a few different extra things that doesn't quite fall under the Good Bones ethos, just of reusing things like kind of like rum. So we're going to possibly bring out a Bad Bones range and just do those sorts of things as well. Absolutely love rum. So yeah, something that can sort of a little bit doesn't quite work with the ethos that we're going with reducing waste and things like that. Unless we can find some molasses that's past its expiry date. Yeah,
That's quite cool. I could see the branding for that one already. Bad Bones.
That's-
I mean, rum's just up and coming. It's
sure is.
seems to be what everybody's talking about.
Now, whether or not that this is kind of marketing law or part of the story on your website, but you did mention that people would come up to you semi or somewhat concerned that there were animal products or that there were bones or that there was anything kind of being used in the and that is that true or is that just part of the story to make a laugh? Because either way,
no, definitely people are like bones. I hope there's no bones in it. Like there's 100% no bones in our products.
That'd be a first too. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know how fermentable that would be, but and also sourcing that's got to get into a real
Ethical dilemma.
let's not go there.
All right, which one should we try next?
Probably go to the blue raspberry.
Beauty. Look at that. I had them in order, ready to go.
Yeah, tell us about this. Where's the flavor come from? Where's the coloring come from? Tom, do you want to give it a shake?
Yeah, so there is a little bit of things in the bottom, but that's literally just from the colouring, which is obviously butterfly pea flowers. So, and the flavour is both from a concentrate and from real fruit. So we're just sort of mucking around. Really, we're just trying them, seeing how it works together.
Kool-Aid. This reminds me of Kool-Aid.
100%.
So
this
it
is
changes
my
colour
childhood.
as well. So I don't know if you've got some tonic or lemonade there.
Do you, Tom?
Yeah.
This wouldn't be the first time that we hadn't prepared something and Tom just goes off and finds a bottle or two. Yeah. There you go. He's found some tonic. Okay, so that is blue. And pour it in there. Hey! Holding it up for the camera, that did indeed just turn purple.
That is so cool.
So the depending on how you want to drink it, if you want something a little bit dry, the tonic goes fantastic. If you want something a little bit sweeter, it goes really well with lemonade as well.
could definitely see lemonade. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, that is. But what an addition that would make to a cocktail.
Mm.
Because I don't know where blue raspberry comes from. It's certainly not a naturally occurring fruit, in my opinion. But that's exactly what it is. You're like, yep, that is blue raspberry. That's hints of
Yeah.
heading toward. I mean, you say Kool-Aid. I think a more Kiwi audience would look to the blue Powerade.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that is,
Yeah.
yeah.
So pretty much it all came around because I, when I macerated some fruit, it had obviously a tinge to it, and I was like, oh, I don't know how that will go across with everyone. So I just started mucking around, and then I was like, oh, well, we can't let gin have all the fun with their blue gins. Let's make a blue vodka. So that's sort of how that one came across. Obviously, not taking anything away from the gins. So there's some fantastic gins around, but this is just our version of having some fun.
Yeah. What I like about vodka, and it's a bit like moonshine, is that you just get to let the flavor shine through it. Whatever you're adding to it, you get to let that kind of shine a bit. So whereas with gin, sometimes you get that flavor plus gin, so it's a bit muddled between the two. But with something like vodka, you get to really let blue raspberry shine in this one. Which is
Absolutely.
great.
So we're still we really like to muck around with things. I'm a homebrewer at heart, so I'm always mucking around with different products. So yeah, our range will always change. We do limited edition runs of things as well. So keep an eye out on our website for what else we do.
And I think that is a point worth making for anybody not based in New Zealand, is that people here do have the freedom to have a home still and experiment. And correct me if I'm wrong, it's like, so long as you are not selling or profiting or doing anything like that, if it's just for your own
Personal
consumption,
use. Yeah,
you can have a crack.
yeah.
I now have side by side neat, the neat blue, and then the purple there with the tonic. And neat, that is dangerously sippable. It is like candy. The blue Powerade.
Yeah.
You could put that in a cocktail, but equally, it's not crying out for anything more to be added. The tonic in there has just classed it up a notch.
Yeah.
It's kind of flattened off a bit more of that sweetness, and it's trying to convince you that it's not a party vodka, but it really is at heart. It is.
Yeah,
We're just sorry, you go.
no, that's great. I was just going to say, it's not too sweet. Some
No.
people get worried, I think, with these sort of things, that it's going to be too sweet when we say that, but it's not overly sweet at all.
No,
nothing like
no.
that.
Certainly sweeter than the plain for
Yeah.
sure, but it's not a liqueur kind of sweetness, not a syrupy kind of sweetness. No.
40% still. Yeah. Well, good job on that. That's really cool. And I mean, the purple thing is so cool too. I think that's awesome.
Thank you.
Again, color me surprised. Yep.
So batch one, you're obviously going to do that again, you think?
Oh, definitely. Yep. That
Yeah.
both that one and the coffee liqueur has actually been one of our better sellers.
Yeah.
I think there's only 3 bottles left of batch one of the blue vodka. So
Oh, beauty.
I'm sure there'll be another one coming out soon. We just distilled again a whole lot more beer that we'll use for possibly another liqueur or another vodka.
Yeah.
What does scaling up look like for you? Because obviously the hope isn't more food waste. We don't want that. But so does scaling up look to bring in more local partners, or do you look further afield for further outside of Wanganui to bring things in?
Yeah, I think we'll just do both.
Okay.
So pretty much, I just go around our suppliers once a week, sort of thing. I just pick up what they have, then we put it in the freezer until we have enough to do a batch. So every batch is only using their ingredients. So we've used bagels, we've used bread, we've used Lewana bread and cake a couple of times as well. So one was birthday cake. The mash looked psychedelic. And then the other one was chocolate cake, things like that. So pretty much if we just more suppliers, we can just keep going. The sky's the limit.
I just every time you talk about it, I get like a bit like tingly up my back, just like almost like cringed about like the thought of having to mash that. It sounds like such a chore. Like it sounds awful. I know how hard it is just to do grain. I can't imagine having to put wet bagels and stuff into a mash. It's making me sweat.
That's a difference that you and I have. Yeah.
So a lot of it does disappear. So with bread, a lot of the times what I'm really left with at the end is the crust. So the enzymes obviously have a little bit harder time dealing with the crust as they do the actual bread. But you still do get what comes out almost as a slimy, it sounds bad, but yeah, like a slimy crust. That obviously you can see the enzymes are trying to have a go at it, but it's just a little bit tough. Same with the bagels. The outside of the bagel is a little bit harder than the inside. Cake is a little bit different. You end up with little specks of stuff throughout the whole wash as it just tries to deal with it. But yeah, so I've had quite a few stuck sparges, quite a few problems, shall we say, until we get to our method that works now the best.
Well, that's craft distilling for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly sounds like you are dealing with unique problems that most traditional distillers are not having to deal with. Now, this one.
The hard way.
Now, this one is it a liqueur or a vodka? And
so this one's our coffee liqueur. So
and it's 25%. That's the 25%. Difference, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So again, this one is made using a beer, and then we've gone with a local roaster in town. So they roast their own beans, everything like that, and then we create it in house.
So is this using spent beans or bad beans?
At the moment, it's fresh beans.
Okay.
I have looked at doing little batches of spent beans and things like that as well, but I couldn't quite get the same aroma to come through because obviously they've been used up, things like that. So,
I gotta say the attention to detail on the bottles. I just want to say for anybody who can't see them, they are all waxed on the top, and they are all different colors. So the vodka is black top. The blue raspberry is blue, and the coffee is brown. But not only that, you've done the wax, but even these ribbons, these what do you call them?
Tear strips.
Yeah, tear strips. They're properly colored. So good job. It looks great.
And again, I love that each one has got a QR code. Excuse me. Each one has a QR code so that if you are having a sip and you're interested, you can scan that QR code and it'll tell you, all right, I have used this product from this bakery or what have you. This is what has gone into making.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that you are able to. Yeah, where has this come from?
Let's have a look.
What does that one say?
We've got batch 2. This has got unused beer. There we go. 55 bottles. Beauty.
So the vodka ones are a little bit more elaborate because we've used actual ingredients. So we get, like our yeast comes from a local yeast propagator down in Lower Hutt, Froth Tech. Now grain comes from Martin, so the local maltster, I don't know how you say that, is only 20 minutes away. So we can just drive there, pick it up. We try to be as local as possible with all our ingredients. So the actual vodka, the clear vodka is made using 100% New Zealand made ingredients. And our latest one, batch 8, has actually been used with a wild yeast out of the Rangitikei area, the region.
Wow,
so the guys at Froth Tech made found one. I think they've been working for years to find one that was actually viable as a brewing yeast. So I had to jump at the chance to use it. So maybe one day I'll send that one down to you guys for try as well.
Love to try it.
See, and I think these are conversations that not enough people are having, because people will talk about playing around with different grains and different levels of malting and all of those kinds of things. Not enough people are talking about different types of yeast, how the yeast, most of the time it's a production level issue, like how much alcohol can we create, and we want the yeast that's going to give us the highest yield.
Yeah.
And internationally, there are heaps of different yeasts, and again, people are usually focusing on a few strains. But now to hear that there are uniquely New Zealand yeasts, wild yeasts that we're using to try and create, this is, it's another conversation for another day, but I
want to try that.
Yeah, that sounds fascinating.
Mm.
All right.
I could chug this bottle. Like, this is so good.
There's a real fresh... It's not an old coffee smell. It's a fresh coffee smell on the nose.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some more. Even.
Okay, you have some more. Why else? Why are you drinking this responsibly?
Nice and sweet. It's chocolatey. Definitely sipping responsibly, as you say. But that coffee, I assume it's just coffee, a little bit of sugar and vodka, something like that, right? Is it? Yeah,
pretty much.
Chocolate from the coffee. Yeah. So, that is.
So we make a
coffee, sweet, love it.
We just effectively make a cold brew, a pretty strong cold brew, and then add our alcohol to it. It took me months to come down to that recipe. My wife was like, "Just get it out. It's good. Get it out." And I was like, "No, a little bit. I can just tweak it a little bit more." I think you always need one of those people there to push you. And my wife is definitely that for me. I don't think I could do it without her, to be honest.
Good. Yeah, that's awesome. Does
and
she?
I'm not just saying that she's out the back. Like,
oh yeah, you got to say it. You're doing a great job back there. No, that's good. So is it just you most of the time, or is it you and her, or how many people are in there?
So it's just me, pretty much. I get her in to help me with the cuts. Her nose is a little bit better. Bit more refined than mine is, and then she comes in. We get the kids in to help with the bottling, things like that. So I'm usually here for the mashing, the distilling, the strip runs. So we do 2 runs, run it through as a strip run, then add it all back in for a second spirit run, and then we can get the whole family in, give us a hand to bottle things. And it's not slave labor when it's your own kids, is it? I don't think so.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, seeing as ours are too young to be doing anything, they've just got to get a bit more useful.
Yeah. They got to start learning their hands. Yeah,
it's probably sweeter than what I would take my coffee.
Is it?
But it's still, it's not a synthetic. You can always tell when it's a synthetic coffee, and it's just slightly off, and there's no bitterness at all, but it is a very a fresh and a real authentic kind of coffee flavor and taste.
Yeah, bit of ice and some milk.
Oh,
yes. Over ice cream.
Actually, on a day like today, again, where we are sweating in this heat, making a nice coffee with a nice hit of that. Yeah,
goes good in a Black Russian as well. So
there we go.
That's a good idea.
But that over ice cream as well. That was our lemon one as well. Is pretty fantastic.
Oh, that sounds good. Yeah.
So what is next for you? You've talked about your origins, your award-winning origins being in rum. Looking ahead for the next, couple of years. Where is it that you want to take Good Bones? What can people look forward to?
Ooh, that is. I'll do more. So I'm going to do more. I want to do more liqueurs. Just keep increasing our range. Have a play. I'm really keen to do a botanical vodka. So almost like a gin, but without the coriander, without the juniper, and just see what I can play around with there. Whether that eventuates to anything, I guess we'll see. But really, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. Try to reduce as much food from going to waste as we can, and see where we can go.
That's awesome. I was going to say, where can people find it? Is it best to just go on the website, or is there anywhere around the country? What's the best way?
Yeah, so on our website, it's probably the best if you're from out of Whanganui. But we are in the Liquorland in Whanganui, and we're in Liquorland College Street in Palmerston North as well. And so, yeah, we're just expanding. So if anyone else is out there listening, they want to stock our stuff, hit me up.
Yeah.
And the website for people listening?
Goodbones.nz.
Goodbones.nz. And that's it. There's more, like, in preparation for today's episode, when I'm on there and I'm having a look around, there's lots of good information and a great story if you're interested in spirits in general, if you're interested in these spirits as well. So, yep, it'd be great if you went on and bought something, but even just to see the work that you're doing and your vision, your heart for what it is that you're trying to do. It's a great read.
Yeah. Well done with everything with this. This is quite impressive. It's one of those things, I know as whiskey drinkers, we sometimes just ignore vodka because we're always looking at whiskey stuff. But like, there's such good vodka out there, so it's, we gotta expand our palates a bit.
Well, it just goes to show, I guess, that yes, and I'm using these air quotes again, it's a neutral spirit. But if you had told me that a vodka at 40% ABV was going to have the mouthfeel of a 15-year-old 53% ABV Scotch, I'd have told you exactly where to go. I am genuinely blown away by that. That is something else.
Oh, cheers, dude. Thank you very much.
Now, thanks, Vaughan. This has been really cool to try these. And if anybody wants to check them out, go check them out on Instagram and Facebook. I think it's at Good Bones Distilling. Is that right?
That's it. Yep.
Yeah. And if you want to learn more about them, check out the website. And then, of course, if you have any questions for Vaughan, send them through to us or through to him, and we can converse that way. And if you have any questions for the podcast, Distil-Nation.NZ is our website. Distil-Nation NZ@gmail.com is our email address, and at Distil-Nation NZ is all our socials.
Mm-hmm.
And we really appreciate the chat, and we'll catch up again soon, I'm sure. And I'm actually looking forward to catching up in person one day. That'd be great to have a chat.
Yeah, man, absolutely. If you guys are ever up these ways, definitely pop in and see us, and we'll show you what we do.
Distil-Nation
see those good bones.
Yeah. All right. Cheers, everyone. Cheers.
Cheers to you, Vaughan.
Cheers.